This was filmed during the COVID-19 pandemic. My guest is part of my inner circle for contact tracing. I was at an extremely low risk for contracting the virus. Please wear a mask in public or around others who are not part of your inner circle.
Hey everyone, it's Adaptive Goddess, and today I'm going to be wrapping up the DBT module of mindfulness with this video on mindfulness exercises that help you get into the state of mindfulness. So mindfulness exercises are really important because they help you use the what and the how skills and the non-judgmental stances that help you stay in the present moment. And when you find yourself going away from that present moment, these skills help you come back to the present moment. I'm again with my mom because these skills are a little bit more of a show and tell, not a one person can do all of it. I'm not Wonder Woman. So let's get started with the first mindfulness exercise.
Okay.
So breathing and breathing exercises are so important to mindfulness because they help you center yourself and focus on your breath. My favorite one is called square breathing. This one's typically taught in mindfulness, but again, any other breathing exercise you have is totally okay to use. So square breathing involves you breathing for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds, and then holding for 4 seconds. So, I mean, it could also kind of be a circle, but a lot of people kind of describe it as a square. So, are we ready? Find a very comfortable position. And it can either be laying down, it could be sitting, it could be a reclined position, or it can even be standing up. But just take a moment, lay down, sit, do whatever you need to do to be comfortable. So, you can close your eyes if you want to, or you can keep them open. But you're going to take a nice, long, deep breath in with my count. Are we ready? And breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. And now you are going to hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you're going to let it out for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. And you're going to hold for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to repeat the whole process over again. So breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what was that like?
Oh, it was different. A lot of holding my breath, which is kind of unusual, but did feel relaxing, except for paying attention to that I'm not breathing in while you're counting. So it will take some practice.
And that totally happens. If that is the case, just kind of skip that moment and try again. So you just kind of throw that one away. That one happened, but now you're going to start afresh at this one. So if you can't hold for 4 seconds, that's fine. Maybe try with 3. If you find yourself holding your breath or breathing in longer, that's fine. It just is a matter of you breathe in for a certain amount, you hold for that same equal amount, you breathe out the same equal amount, and then you hold for that equal amount. So it's kind of like a square where it's equal on all sides. It's just you're breathing in, breathing out, and holding on either two. The next skill is mindfully looking, otherwise known as 10 things. This one is my all-time favorite skill. I absolutely love it. I do it all the time. This one really helps me be mindful. And I find myself doing it when I'm being judgmental or when I'm just my thoughts are so overwhelming me in this moment that I'm just like, I need a minute. So what you're going to do is you're going to look around wherever you are, and you are going to notice 10 things you otherwise would not have noticed unless you took the time to look around the room. And this can be as quick or as long as you want. Just try and make it things you don't think you would have noticed otherwise. So if you have a huge couch in your room, that maybe it is not one that you wouldn't have noticed. But maybe it's a dot on the wall, or a paint stain somewhere, or a missed mark when cleaning, or a stain on the carpet. Or maybe, hey, you noticed your mirror has a streak, or you notice that your paintings, all the little brush strokes you can actually finally see. So take the time to notice 10 things in the room you otherwise would not have noticed. And if you need more time, pause the video, do the exercise, and come back. So how was that?
Different. Definitely some things that I didn't notice or knew were there but didn't look at before. So that was kind of cool.
Did it help you kind of bring yourself back to your space?
I don't know if it brought me back to the space. It kind of distracted me from what I was thinking.
I find, like, for me, it really, if I hypervigilate on my space, I can kind of bring myself back. So
What do you mean by that? Bring yourself back?
So, like, when you're in your, like, thoughts or in your head, you kind of don't really know where you are. But if you take the time to kind of look around and be hyper-focused on things, then you really are able to kind of remember where you are and bring yourself and your focus and your mind and your spirit or your soul or whatever back to what you're doing and where you are.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it doesn't help to look out the window because then you're looking at
Then you're like,
farther
oh,
away things.
what's out there?
Like, oh, okay, there's blue sky. It's different.
So the next one is called mindfully eating. And this is when you take something either spicy or sweet or just something flavorful, and you kind of just take the time to eat it. So I have a trail mix, which I know you like. For me, I am such a fan of seaweed, so I also have seaweed. So the choice is yours. Which one do you want?
I like the trail mix thing.
All right, you want the trail mix? I'm going to eat the seaweed.
So what's the difference here between just eating something slowly and this mindful eating?
You're really slowly, deliberately kind of mulling it over in your mouth, and you're kind of focusing on what it tastes like, what is the texture of it, what does it feel like on your tongue. So you're really using your senses to kind of have your brain register that you're eating something.
It would be nice if I could open it. It won't
Oh
open.
no,
Can you
it's
help
not
me?
opening.
Yeah,
You
I
know what?
tried that too.
You know what?
We'll get some scissors.
Nothing a pair of scissors can't solve.
Yay. Thank
There
you.
you go.
Okay.
So,
Smells good.
yep, you can always start off by smelling it.
That part of the mindful eating.
Mm-hmm. Get your brain ready to process that it's going to eat food. Can I smell yours?
Yes.
You want to smell mine?
I like mine better.
Well, I like mine better.
All right.
So
Ooh, I have a walnut.
you're going to take some of it. I'm going to take even a smaller piece. There we go. I don't know how fast this is going to dissolve in my mouth. Lena, not too fast. So you're going to put it in your mouth, and you're going to kind of just process what does it feel like, what's the texture of it, what's the taste of it, What are the ridges of it? Things like that.
Oh, I think that's the longest I've ever taken to eat a walnut, a small walnut at that.
Yeah. One way that I was taught this in a DBT was like, how many times can you chew a piece of gum before like the flavor goes away? So like, you take a piece of gum, you put it in your mouth, and you know how you have that instant flavor, and then slowly over time it fades. If you're mindfully chewing gum, you're noticing like, how many chews am I chewing until the flavor goes away? What does the chew feel like on the back of my molars versus like my front teeth, and things like that are very like peculiar. Like, you wouldn't think about chewing gum that way, but it really does kind of help like process your brain of like, oh, I'm eating right now. And actually,
I'm going to try another one. I'm going to try a cranberry this time. One thing that I noticed with eating the walnut was that it actually has quite a bitter aftertaste for me, and it starts to feel a little chalky too. So usually I'm not paying that much attention to what it actually tastes like. Now it's scratching the back of my throat a little. So I'm going to try this cranberry. It's dried.
Interesting. Still chewing.
Oh, it's taking me a long time to eat this.
Bag.
And that's if I just chug it and it's done. And
yes.
I'm happy.
And that's kind of one of the other things, is that when you mindfully eating, you find yourself getting fuller actually faster, because your brain is registering that you're eating. And actually it was really fun to do this skill with other people, and you're like all eating the same thing, and everyone's noticing something different about the piece of food you're eating, that you're just like, really?
Here, let's try it. Let's do that together. We'll both eat a walnut.
Okay.
Or both eat a mango.
The walnut's fine. I can eat a walnut.
Here, let's eat a walnut together and see what that's like.
Now I'm scared. You said it has a bitter aftertaste.
Oh,
I
that
never
was just
noticed.
me.
All right,
Okay.
ready? Set, go. Yeah, it's kind of chalky.
I noticed how I started chomping on it right away, and you kind of explored it a little bit more. I don't know, when something like a walnut hits me, I'm right to eat it.
That's also kind of taking the time for your brain to register something's in your mouth, not just like, oh, I'm preparing to eat it, but like, oh, something's in my mouth. Now let me start chewing.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I actually feel kind of like
showing me
from
that.
Like,
wow. Are you?
Not necessarily like full, but like I don't really need another snack.
Maybe I'm just kind of thinking about the food differently. So that's interesting. Switching things up.
Yeah. Cool. The next mindfulness exercise is body scan. And there's many different ways you can do a body scan, whether it's through guided meditation or a guided body scan. You can also do them with like an actual body scan, like what a doctor would do, where you have like a stethoscope. That's what they're called, right? Stethoscopes. Yay, I said it right. And like a blood pressure monitor and a thermometer, and just kind of like other medical tools that would help with like an actual body scan, like a checkup. Or you can do just kind of a meditative body scan, where you just are kind of sitting or laying down, and you're kind of just like focusing your energy from the top of your head all the way down to the sole of your foot. And like your toes and all that things. That way you're really noticing every part of your body. So we're going to start. Are you ready?
Okay.
If you want, you can lay down.
If I lay down, they can't see me.
It's the same for square breathing or any breathing exercise. Be in a comfortable position for you. That's going to be completely different from other people. So, you're going to start at the top of your head. You're going to see if you can feel your hair growing. You're also going to see if you feel any pain in the top of your head. You're now going to move to the base of your head. So right around where your spine and your head connect. And you're going to roll that around a little bit. Does it feel creaky at all? Do you hear any pops? Is there any pain? Now you're going to move to your face. You are going to soften your eyes and maybe even close them and focus your energy on the back of your eyelid. Is there any pain in your eyes? You're going to take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Is one of your nostrils plugged up or clogged? Is there any pain? You're going to breathe out through your nose. Is it the same kind of sound going in and out, or is there a difference? You're going to move to your ears. I can't wiggle my ears, but if you can, go for it. Are you hearing the same things from each ear canal? Is there any pain? Can you hear the same sound, or does it sound different from one ear to the other? Does one ear sound stuffed up and one sound super clear? Now you're going to go down to your mouth. Take a big deep breath in through your mouth. When the air rushes in, is there any pain anywhere? Do you feel a sore throat? And now breathe out through your mouth. Does it feel the exact same as when the air was going in? Is there any pain? Now you're going to come down to your shoulders. If you need to, you can wiggle them around a little bit. Acknowledge they're there. Now you're going to extend out to your elbows. If you need to, you can wiggle them too. Kind of stretch them out a little bit. Is there any pain? Do they feel funny? Maybe you hit your funny bone. Now you're going to go out to your wrist. You may need to wiggle that around. Do you hear any bone clicking? Is there any pain? Now go out and stretch out your fingers and wiggle your fingers around. Do they feel anything? Is there one finger that's different than the other in feeling? Is there any pain when you scrunch them up into a fist or extend them really wide? Now you're going to go down to your chest, where your lungs are, and you're going to take a nice deep breath in. As you inhale, you're going to hold. And I want you to see if you can feel the air circling in your lungs. Is it hot air? Is it cold air? Is it room temp air? Can you feel that circulating through your lungs? Now let it out. Do you feel your lungs deflating? Is there any pain when you breathe? Now you're going to go down to your belly. And if you're laying down or reclining, this is a good time to put your hand on your belly and see if you can breathe and get your belly to rise, or otherwise belly breathe. And as you breathe, do you feel your belly going up and down, expanding and contracting. Is there any pain anywhere? Do you feel like a cramp? Now you're going to go down to your knees. You may have to stretch them or move them around to realize they're there. When you do that, do you hear any bone clicking? Is there any pain? Now all the way down to your ankles. You may have to wiggle those around to realize that they're there. Do you hear any bone clicking? Is there any pain? Now to your toes. You may have to scrunch them up and extend them really wide, or point and flex. When you point and flex, do you hear any clicking? Is there any pain? And if there is pain, is it at your toes or does it emanate somewhere else out through your body? Now you're going to take one big, deep breath. As you breathe in, I want you to imagine that there is light coming from the top of your head, expanding all the way out to your arms and all the way down to your toes, and extending past your foot to the ground below you. And as you breathe out, I want you to think about that light sucking itself back up all the way through your body and coming out the top of your head. You may now blink, open your eyes, look around, maybe do some mindful looking to kind of reorient yourself back to where you are. How was that?
Oh, very relaxing. I love the mind
Good.
scanning.
The body scanning, yeah.
Body scanning.
It's important when you body scan to think about the top of your head and the sole of your foot, because that's a true body scan, is all the way down and your fingers and toes. But that's where you start, is top of your head, sole of your foot. All right, so our last one is called letting thoughts go. There's many ways you can do it. One of the ways I was taught was called putting your worry on a shelf. It is a CD from Marshall Linehan. You can look that up if you are so inclined to think about it. It is a guided meditation of letting thoughts go. There's, again, many, many guided meditations for this kind of thing. My favorite one is called cloud thinking. So this is when you relax. You close your eyes, you either lay down or recline or even sit, and you imagine that you are lying on a grassy field and you're looking up at the sky. And as you look up at the sky, you see white, puffy, beautiful clouds just floating by. And in each of those clouds, I want you to put a thought that you are thinking in this moment. You're going to put a thought on the cloud, and you're going to watch that cloud just drift by. Each time a cloud drifts by, a new cloud comes in for you to put another thought in. And you keep your breathing in and out as you watch all these clouds float by with your thoughts on them, one after the other. So now I want you to slowly wiggle your fingers and toes. Slowly blink your eyes open. You may have to mindfully look around at where you are to reorient yourself back. So that's cloud thinking, where you let your thoughts go onto a cloud. How was that?
Pretty cool. I'd never done that before. Kind of the cloud train. It's easy to let clouds go because it was a little bit more concrete. Instead of just let your thoughts go, it's kind of put them in something that goes. And I know about clouds moving away, so that was an easy way of doing that. Thanks for sharing that.
When I first got this is my nerdiness coming out, but when I was first a nice puffy cloud, then I put my thought in there, and it would turn into like a Dementor cloud from Harry Potter and just kind of drift away. So I'm like actually like physically changing the cloud by putting my thought in there. And just it was really funny to be like, oh look, now my thoughts are a Dementor cloud. I love Harry Potter, so it was always really fun to think about.
I'll try that next time.
So that's it for the mindfulness exercises. There are some tips that I want to share that actually make any exercise in mindfulness that you're doing work. And one is you have to follow the directions, even if they seem silly. So if they say, put your hands on your head and quack like a duck, put your hands on your head and quack like a duck. There's a reason they're saying it. There's a reason that it's in this order, and it's to help reorient your mind. And the only way you know if it truly works is if you actually follow the directions to make it work. The other one is start these exercises alone. So do them in the privacy of your room or your office cubicle or somewhere where you don't necessarily have to worry about if you look silly. Because the more you master these skills, the more you can do them without really thinking, and the less you have to focus on, am I square breathing correctly? Am I putting my worries on that cloud correctly? Am I really noticing the 10 things? Am I really eating as slowly as I can? Is my body scan correct? So the more you master them, the more you can do them out in the world without anyone really noticing you're doing them. Next, prepare for a wandering brain. Prepare for your thoughts. It's good to acknowledge them and let them go. I find myself sometimes if I'm doing square breathing and I notice my thoughts, I immediately go to like cloud thinking where I put my thoughts on a cloud, or I think about a conveyor belt and just kind of let my thoughts go by. Some exercises may not be the best for you. It's a lot of trial and error. So try as many breathing exercises as you can. Try as many mindfulness body scans or mindfully eating or mindfully looking as you can. Try guided meditation for body scans. Try meditations and guided meditations for letting your thoughts go. Because each of us is unique. What works for you will not necessarily work for me. What works for me will not necessarily work for you. And it's important to know what does work for you in mindfulness so that you can be brought back to what you're doing and put your focus back into what you're doing. And don't judge yourself if you make a mistake. I have been practicing these for a very, very long time. And even still to this day, I make mistakes. And I judge myself for my wandering brain when I'm in the middle of like a cloud meditation. It's like, but that's kind of the point. But I still judge myself because I'm like, I should know how to do this. So if you make a mistake, we're all human. Mistakes will happen. Reset and try again. So comment down below which one of these exercises was your favorite. Mine is either the square breathing or the cloud thinking. What about you?
Mine was the body scan.
The body
For sure.
scan.
Loved that. We do it every day.
So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and gently tap that like button. And remember to be kind, compassionate, and true to you.